Hey there, 8th graders, and welcome to today's Explainer. Get ready, because today we're jumping right into a journey all about making smart, real-world choices using the incredible power of math. We aren't just sitting around crunching numbers today, we're going to figure out how to purposefully plan our lives, set boundaries, and actually hit our goals.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our flight plan for today. 1. Purposeful planning and math. 2. Translating words into math. 3. Real-life inequality examples. 4. Your turn to practice. And 5. Education, morality, and peace.
Starting right off with Section 1, Purposeful Planning and Math.
Before we even look at a single equation, we really need to understand why setting limits and boundaries is absolutely crucial in our everyday lives. Proverbs 16:3 says, "Commit your work to the Lord and your plans will be established." You know, that tells us something pretty amazing. God actually wants us to plan well. He wants us to work with a clear, established purpose. Planning isn't just some boring chore. It's a way to honor our commitments and make really wise choices with the resources we've been given.
Because of that, math is so much more than just a bunch of numbers on a page. It's a way of thinking wisely. Think about it. Whenever you plan an event, manage your allowance, or even just figure out your schedule for the week, you run into limits, averages, or ranges. You might only have $20 in your pocket, or you might need at least 3 hours to finish a science project. Whenever you encounter these limits in the real world, you are actually using math to make smart, God-honoring decisions.
Moving right along to Section 2, Translating words into math.
To take those real-world limits and put them on paper, we need a specific tool to model the boundaries. That tool is called a linear inequality. By definition, a linear inequality is a mathematical expression that compares two values using signs like greater than or less than. It shows us limits or ranges instead of exact equals. Honestly, it is the absolute perfect tool for the real world, because in real life, things aren't always perfectly equal. Life isn't an equal sign. Sometimes you just need to know you're under budget, or that you're driving at least the speed limit. So how do we use this tool? We're going to follow 3 simple steps. First, we define the variables involved. Basically, what is the unknown thing we're trying to figure out? Second, we write an inequality to model the situation using our less than or greater than signs. And third, we represent the solution on a graph to give ourselves a crystal clear visual picture of our boundaries.
Now, what's really interesting here is how we can apply this right away. Imagine you're making bracelets to raise money for an upcoming mission trip. Each bracelet costs $3 to make. But here's the catch. You have a strict maximum budget limit of $150. You literally cannot spend a single penny more. How do we figure out how many bracelets you can make?
Well, let's break down the real-world problem. The total cost of making those bracelets at $3 a prop has to stay strictly under $150. To turn that into mathematical action, we'll let X represent the number of bracelets. Since each one is $3, the total cost is 3 times X. We want that total to be strictly less than our budget, which gives us the inequality 3X is less than 150. And just like that, you've successfully translated reality into math.
All right, Section 3, Real-Life Inequality Examples. Let's jump into our training ground with some rapid-fire scenarios where you are the hero navigating different limits.
Let's look at a subtle variation of our fundraiser. This time, the bracelets still cost $3 each, but your new rule is you want to spend no more than $60. Do you notice the difference there? No more than means you can spend exactly $60 or anything less. So our inequality becomes 3x is less than or equal to 60. That little line under the arrow makes a huge difference in the real world.
Okay, how about a classic road trip scenario? Picture this. You're on the highway and your dad looks over and says, "Listen, we need to average 50 miles per hour if we're going to make it to Grandma's house before dark. And you know Grandma will lock the doors if we're late."
So, the crucial point is figuring out the time it's going to take. If your goal is to drive at least 150 miles today, traveling at 50 miles per hour, we just use the famous distance formula. Distance equals rate times time. The rate is 50, the time is t. Since you want to go at least 150 miles, the math translates perfectly to 50t is greater than or equal to 150.
Let's do one more. This is a super practical shopping limit. You're buying t-shirts for a group event. The shirts cost $12 each, and you have exactly $100 in your pocket. You obviously can't spend money you don't have, right? So the number of shirts, X, times $12, must be less than or equal to 100.
Our inequality is 12x is less than or equal to 100. It is the perfect financial boundary.
Which brings us to Section 4, your turn to practice. I'm handing the baton directly over to you to apply these exact translation skills to your own scenarios.
We've got 5 real-life situations here. Buying books, saving for a bike, planning a running schedule, making sandwiches for a group, and budgeting your homework time. Here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and pause this explainer right now. Grab a piece of paper, and for each of these 5 situations, write an inequality, solve it, and then write a quick sentence describing what your solution actually means in the real world. Go for it. I'll be right here when you get back.
Welcome back. I really hope you crushed those practice problems. Let's move to Section 5 and see how this all builds together: education, morality, and peace. In our final section, we're going to connect these math mechanics to the larger philosophy behind everything we learn here at the Academy. Here's the truth. Education without morality will hurt. Seriously, what is the point of being incredibly smart, acing all your math tests, and knowing exactly how to calculate budgets if you use that knowledge to make bad, harmful choices? True education gives you the tools, but morality gives you the wisdom to use those tools to help others and to honor God.
The beautiful result of combining your education with morality is peace. Romans 8:6-7 promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps their minds spiritual. When you plan purposefully, when you really understand your limits, and when you let a spiritual mindset guide your choices, you don't have to live in chaos or stress. You get to experience life and peace. And that is exactly the experience we want for you as you engage with this material.
So, as we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought. You now have the mathematical tools to set real boundaries, and you have the spiritual foundation to make good choices. The only question left is, how will you use your math and morality to make wise, God-honoring plans today? Think about that, apply it to your life, and I will see you in the next one.